like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Father, I praise your glory and great works among your people. I pray that the plans you have for those who call upon you will be answered. Help us to believe in ourselves, know that whatever happens is in your glory. We will trust in you and believe in you and have the ultimate plan for us. May the peace of Christ rule in our hearts forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle,
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez,
Present.
Councilmember Marlon Lewis,
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard,
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter,
Here.
Councilmember Sherry Guidry,
Present.
Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Item 1, public comment. We have no comment cards, so we will move to item 2. Madam Clerk.
Acceptance of the minutes. Acceptance of the minutes of the January 7, 2020 meeting as published on January 17, 2020.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Broussard. Do we have any discussion on our minutes? Hearing and seeing none, I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Item 3, we have no persons to address the council tonight. We'll move on to item 4.
Resolutions. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute for and on behalf of the city of New Iberia, Louisiana, a certificate of substantial completion from Raw Security Solutions Incorporated for the completion of the wastewater CCT system upgrade.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by the Mayor Pro Tem, Dan Dahl. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Lewis. Do we have any discussion on this resolution? Hearing and seeing none, I'll ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. 4B.
Resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and or his staff to complete and execute for and on behalf of the city of New Iberia the Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire for Audit Engagements of Governments.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Broussard. Second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Item 5. A.
Recommendations for planning and zoning. A. Recommendation of approval. Zoning ordinance revision. City of New Iberia Code of Ordinances. Appendix A. Zoning. Article 9. Uses allowable by special permit. Section 9.3. Permits issued by the Planning and Zoning Commission for a special use, conditional use. E. Number 4. Delete letters of support and or a petition signed by the adjacent property owners supporting the request and replace with letters and or a petition signed by 75% of the adjacent property owners within a 250-foot radius supporting the request, with the exception of section 3.11C2, Central Business Districts 3.1101, permitted uses, A6, requiring 100% support.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry and a second by Councilman Broussard. Do we have any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. 5B.
Recommendation of approval. Zoning ordinance revision, City of New Iberia Code of Ordinances, Appendix A, Zoning, Article 3, Schedule of District Regulations adopted, Section 3.11C-2, Central Business District 3.1101, Permitted Uses, A, Retail Sales, Section 6, Bar, Lounge, Drive-Through, or Walk-Up Alcohol Sales, request by special use, conditional use permit along with letters and a petition of support signed by 100% of adjacent property owners.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Councilwoman Ledbetter? Do we have a second? Councilwoman Guidry. Any discussion on 5B? No discussion? Please vote your machines. Thank you.
Right there.
Item 6. 6A.
Introduction of ordinances. Introduction of ordinance to be set for public hearing on February 4th, 2020. A. Introduction of ordinance revising City of New Iberia Code of Ordinances, Chapter 18, Article 2, Subdivision 6, Building Inspector, to add sections 18-108 through 18-110A, to establish and set forth the powers and duties for a combination building inspector.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Dan Dahl. Do I have a second? Ooh. Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have any discussion on 6A?
Is that 5A?
It's really 6A. Our
Six.
numbers,
I
we put
misnumbered
5
it.
down
Yeah.
twice, so,
I missed that.
yeah.
Would you just kind of briefly explain what
We're
we're
just,
talking about here?
Jimmy, you want to come up and, but what we're doing is we're just combining some powers for one inspector, but Jimmy can explain it to us better.
Yeah, this is instead of having to hire 3 different inspectors,
Right.
one for plumbing, one for electrical, one for mechanical. This makes a combination where we can get one inspector to do all 3.
Thank you, Jimmy.
All right.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, please vote your machines.
Just started getting up here.
All right, item 7, we have no items for discussion. Item 8, councilman remarks. I'll start with you, Ms. Guidry.
Yeah, I think that's a first.
I never started with her. It's normally because Dustin said.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that I had the privilege of having another birthday on today. I'm sorry, on the 15th, which is when you do the real history. It's Martin Luther King birthday is really on January the 15th, and so I share a birthday with him. I'll be excited about it every time he comes every year. It was great to see that they had a lot of Martin Luther King Jr. celebrations all around Acadiana. I had the privilege of at least catching one of them at Lighthouse Missionary Baptist Church, in which I spoke there. But it was good to know that they had several going on around Acadiana, and usually when you go to them, I know you're blessed by it because it's something that you heard or saw that'll uplift you no matter who you are. So Martin Luther King was a great moral leader. I believe he didn't want to really be a political leader, but he turned into one, and a civic leader. So it was good to be able to honor the man and his legacy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I passed tonight.
Okay. Thank you. Dan?
Well, Mayor, first of all, I want to thank the citizens of New Iberia again. It looks like we got a report on our sales tax, and November, December, we both was positive. Not as much as we were last year, but it's a positive thing for the city, showing we still buy local. And I just want to remind everybody, got the Mardi Gras parade Saturday night downtown. It looks like the weather should be good for it. Come out and support it. The people that put it together is really working hard to make it a good parade, and I think we all know the Grand Marshal, so. The man. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Broussard?
Congratulate LSU for their championship, national championship. It's a great honor. So we're gonna support as much as we can of that. And not too much tonight. I was just giving LSU a little plug.
All right.
So that's all I have tonight.
Well, I didn't have none, but thank you, Ms. Ledbetter. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Martin Luther King celebration on yesterday. I thought you were going to talk about it. You chaired it. You did a great job.
It was nice.
Thank you for everybody who came out, showing a sign of unity and solidarity which proves that this council is moving in the right direction in trying to make this city a nicer place to live. It's already nice, but make it a nicer place to live, you know. But that's it.
All right, Natalie.
I'm a little more than everybody else, I think. I haven't spoken to the news yet because I was waiting to address my district here personally. And I didn't want it to be something that could be edited or cut out. So here I go. First and foremost, I would like to apologize to my constituents of District 1. Since getting elected in 2011, a lot has happened in my life. And while part of me thinks my personal life is my business only, another part of me knows that when I signed up to run for office, I was accepting that my life now had the possibility of being put under a microscope. I've done a pretty decent job of keeping my personal life private, but with my recent arrest, I feel I owe an explanation to my district, the people who elected me. In the past year, my family has endured some pretty tragic events. My father was involved in a car crash that left him with a brain injury. In the months following, he did and said some very hurtful things to me. As a child from around 11 years old until I graduated and moved out, my dad was physically, verbally, and mentally abusive towards me. Last fall, I ended up having to have a restraining order filed against him. Shortly after that, I found out he was dying of cancer. My mom died when I was 10 years old. A little over a week ago, my dad fell and broke his hip, and when I went and tried to help him, he threw a tool at me and pulled out a gun. The days following that event ultimately led to him having to go to the hospital where he was PEC'd and now has been CEC'd. I have been through a lot in my life, but the recent events have been extremely traumatic. And on Friday night, I chose to deal with my emotions in a way that led me to making a bad decision. I have never been arrested before, and I am extremely humiliated. But this has woken me up and made me realize that I cannot suppress what is going on in my life anymore. These are not excuses, this is just my story. I'm a single mother and I just can't handle it all alone anymore. I have the necessary resources to get help for the trauma I have endured since my childhood, and it is now time that I have to face it head on. I am truly sorry for letting my constituents down. For years, I worked in the criminal justice system where 90% of what I did was help people who got in trouble. I did that job with so much pride and passion, and I did it because I believe in second chances. I believe people can change. I believe in not judging others. And I believe that sometimes bad circumstances lead to bad decisions. I am determined to grow from this situation and become a better person. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at in times of challenge and controversy." And I ask that if you have it in your hearts, to please pray for me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Now we'll move on to, let's see, where we at? Announcements. Next council meeting is February the 4th. And the only other remark I had the privilege today, it was a tragedy in the making, but I went out, and it's not as often as I'd like to, but as often as I can, to see our people at work. Well, today it wasn't anything fun. Today it was a house fire. Today a trailer fire on Week Street. Got there pretty quickly and was able to watch our fire department. You know, they saved the guy's life today. That thing was engulfed in flames. One of our firemen just jumped through the window in the flames. Watch him. That guy came out. Police were there. They helped. Some people from the community helped. And I watched them, extinguish the fire, and the ambulance came and got the guy. But it's not often that I get to see our departments, really in the heat of things, really in the moment, doing what they do. And we've got some great people that work for us. The men and women of the fire department, of law enforcement, they really provide a service that is like nothing, you'll ever see anywhere else. Hats off to them. The man's in the hospital. I think he's going to be okay, but it was rough. I mean, a few more seconds. We talk about response times. That thing was just a burning inferno really quick. A trailer goes up very quickly. The amount of speed that they got there and handled it's impressive. I mean, our people are well trained. We spent a lot of money. We're about to buy another fire truck this year. That's $500,000 almost. we constantly buy new equipment. We just got stuff with the LWCC money that we all decided what we do with it, and we buy more equipment for all of our departments. Gave the fire department and the police department some money, but you kind of forget. It looks like numbers on a page until you see them at work. And then you realize why we do this, why we spend so much of our budget, why we brought back a PD, why we support our fire department, why those people get paid a little differently, and health care that's 365, why they get a lot of the things that we have questioned about. Well, why do they get that? Go watch those people in action, and you'll understand why they get it and why they deserve it. So that was, like I said, it was a tragedy. It could have been a lot worse, though, and it was just an honor to see our people at work. That's really it. Motion to adjourn. Thank you all very much.